Good evening. I am Batlord Carcas. I am your host tonight of Central Valley Music, and tonight we have horrorcore rapper G-Killa.
How's it going, man? How's it going?
Wonderful to meet an ally in the dark side.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate you letting me on here.
Heck yeah, I'm so glad that this is one of the most exciting interviews I can have on a show like this tonight. And for all the audience out there who may not be familiar with horrorcore hip-hop music, can you explain just a brief little bit about it?
I don't really know a lot, but I can tell you my point of it.
Yeah, your point of it, right?
My point of it is more of it's rap, but it's more of stuff you'd see in movies, like scary movie types.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of goriness, if you will.
Yeah.
Started, back in the days in the 90s, and it's kind of died down, but I'm trying to bring it back, especially in Fresno.
Definitely wonderful to bring it back and get it up here in Fresno. Like I could say, I relate to you with One Last Caress being Fresno death rock band, the whole horror punk genre, where we got to help grow that in Fresno along with the punk scene, and then you doing this with hip hop is a very exciting, very amazing thing, and I'm looking forward to like how you're doing it and everything. And yeah.
Well, right now I've only got one EP out. Looking to get merchandise out by the mid of this year, along with another album.
Wonderful.
Other than that, I'm not looking at too much. That album is going to be a series of albums.
Yes.
So, hopefully keep it going and keep it grinding.
Yeah. I like the sound of it because you got to keep it going, keep it grinding like those corpses, yo.
Yeah. Man.
Dude, I want to ask about your influences and such, that as far as music, maybe even like cinematic, and you name it, heroes, anything that you're influenced by.
A lot of my influences come from scary movies. Any era of scary movies, because I know they do reboots now. And a lot of influences from Detroit rappers, such as Twisted, St. Clown Posse, even California horrorcore rappers like Kung Fu Vampire, Mars, NWA, even though they're not horrorcore, and just so on and so on.
Freaking awesome. I like the fact that you got those influences, and I will say I love that stuff too, man. You've got some great influences. And then curious to ask, especially what would you say was your youngest start into music,
Music overall, or music as a horrorcore only?
Well, I would say as far as overall, and then into when you started for the horrorcore.
Overall was when I was 14. Tragic incident happened in my life. Going down, wouldn't say the wrong road, but if I kept going where I was going, it would be. So, 14 would be the music transition. At 17 was the horrorcore transition. So, been in it for 4 years now, horrorcore-wise, but altogether 7.
It's really rad, and of course, so back in 2014 was about to start with the horrorcore.
Yes,
that's pretty good.
2014, 2015, about that time genre.
That's what's up, yeah. Because I know as of March 2018 of this session of interview, I'm making sure I got to document the dates for you. Yeah, it's freaking rad. So curious about live performance, being that doing live gigs, and then. I know that we kind of had a brief where you got to talk about that so far locally it's been very minimal as far as performing here.
Yes.
But as far as being a local musician that's got to go for traveling abroad to do music, and I was curious to ask about as far as your endeavors with touring, or maybe just your gigs that you've been working on setting up or have set up before.
As far as locally, yeah, it's been a minimum. Very, very minimum. As far as on the road and traveling, I want to do it, but I want to get more stuff under my belt first.
Oh yes.
especially getting my name known. Because I feel like if I go out on tour with someone, they're going to be like, well, who's this cat? You know, why is he up there? So I'd rather get my name known first.
Growing out that way, right? That
Yeah.
makes sense. I get it, because it's truly, yeah, when you get your name out there. And then so like, as far as like you've talked about like releasing some EPs and everything, and then currently I know you've been working in the studio recently too, so like I know currently, as far as media that may be available for people to listen, is there any available currently?
I have my EP out on Spotify, iTunes, Google, any digital download place you could think of. YouTube. I have a little bit on SoundCloud, but not too much. As far as my main ones for horrorcore, all on like Spotify.
Wonderful to have it on Spotify, especially getting enough Spotify hits and get it on there on Spotify.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a perfect thing to do, man. I would say, if anything, knowing that you also have a social media presence,
yes.
And I know that, how can we find you on social media?
So you can find me mostly on Instagram. I'm a lot on Instagram. Facebook and Twitter I'm on, but Instagram, if you were to look up G-Killa, you know, find me there. Message me questions, whatever.
Wonderful for that. And then G-Killa, so that would be on there as G-Killa559 on the Instagram.com.
Yes.
And I know that it's pretty cool, because being able to get a hold of you. I know you're like my new acquaintance in Ally Music today. I'm totally wanting to keep up with you. We can work out some gigs and find things to do. So I would like to say, alongside doing music, anything you like to do, particularly in your free time?
There was one point where I was into drawing and graphics and stuff, but kind of been just spending all my time on my music. Think within the last 24 hours, I was in the studio for 10 hours. And I've only had like 5 hours of sleep in between.
That's
so
amazing. Do tell more though.
You know, I'm really pushing on this album to be set. It's not set to be released till later, but I like to get a head start on all my stuff before, you know, the time releases. Usually I like to spend 5-7 hours, but recently I just felt like pushing more hours in the studio. Luckily it's, you know, not that far of a travel. It's only a few minute drive.
Yes.
So, but always in the studio. Always.
That's a good thing, to have that hard-working drive right there for doing the music. And then it's really cool. So, like, I was curious as far as, like, when, I would like to say, in the music industry, what would you say is a big pet peeve with some of the pros and cons with some of the music industry with getting gigs right now?
Pros and cons. I mean, pros, you know, exposure.
Exposure, yeah.
Exposure is a definite pro. And being able to see your fans instead of just, you know, texting them behind the screen. Cons, nowadays there's a lot of pay to play. Gotta have money to be on there with artists. And sometimes, you know, you feel like, well, I've been in here so long, why do I gotta pay to play? But there's always gonna be pay to play.
Yeah, and I can agree that I share that rant and rave. Yeah, because I say no pay to play.
No,
yeah, that's how I go with the pay to play.
Right.
Because I swear, I feel like it's like when you're just trying to get out there and you're trying to get your music done, and I figure, you know, right, when you're doing, because I believe that it's always like in today's music industry, like doing live shows is what's trying to help you keep going to the next place.
Yeah.
And then merchandise is the big seller at the events too. So I feel like you, much like you about that, because, you know, I feel like the turnout of people for even the headliners should be part of what generates that.
Yeah.
For everyone to get that, you know, it's like So I feel like I definitely relate, like we've got to talk about with this stuff. And yeah, so like I find that it's really neat because along with doing this, would you say like out of like in doing the music that you're doing currently and everything, like what kind of like is, because I know like for you probably definitely have made some interesting acquaintances or friends and connections lately.
Yes. You know, I've only talked with them through internet, obviously, but recently I've been talking to Kung Fu Vampire.
Yes. About
the possibilities of, you know, a track. Who else have I talked to? Talked to an artist named Crossworm. Actually just sent him a track. He just finished the recording, sent it back. So, as far as that, really pushing towards bigger named artists, even though I'm small, still like to reach my goals high.
Oh, heck yeah. Especially when you're in like it's like this genre, this style of music. It's so it's unique. It stands out in the hip hop style of music. So it's really exciting too. And then like would you say that Bones was one of the guys that you were talking to for a bit too about stuff, or?
As in general, Bones. I mean, Bones would be someone I'd want to hop on a track with.
Yeah.
But if I could, rather get A and B all together.
Oh yes.
Rather get two instead of one.
Yeah.
But definitely Bones is someone I'm pursuing in the future.
Heck yeah. Getting on with Session, everybody would be a lot of fun. I'd say because like you to me stand out, stand out, and then to team up, you know, like along the way, having some fun with different artists like this too. Wonderful.
Oh yeah.
It was freaking awesome. So I would like to say that, you know, with this interview and then knowing that we got to like talk about everything, cover all the territory, I'm already excited to hear your music and see it happen. So if you like, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put it right there for my new homie here. And then G-Killa is going to put on some music here. And then we're going to go within the darkness. We shall return.
Rock with the impeccable, incredible, dependable, psycho, about to go crazy like Michael. I'm spiteful on a downward spiral, got me sounding insane in the Charles on trial. I'm so hot I burn the fucking Bible, killing all my rivals with my rifle, taking you out of the cycle. People saying I'm scaring the kids on the block, they're saying I need to stop. Got their parents in shock, they need a watch for the clock when it stops. I'm the only thing they got, watching their bodies rock. Everything I'm saying is true, I kick it with dead folks, this isn't a joke, like a dead hoax. I'm sleeping at cemeteries, I can get very deadly, you better be ready, killing you in your nightmares like Freddy. You ain't never seen someone sick like me, yeah, I must try to say I'm finally feeling free. Talking shit, I stab you in your throat, at the end we all float, that's not a quote, that's a no joke. Watch you die while you choke, I'm laughing while I smoke. See, I got a deranged mind, even my psychologist is scared of the shit he might find. I'm Michael Blind, I'm in my dungeon, always ready to write some lines, combine my rhymes, and afterwards I'm ready to die. But you dead, so I'm drinking your blood is wine. Thinking they need to lock me up in a padded room when they see all the bodies I've consumed. Evil to you is something normal to me, I ain't normal cause my name ain't Norman, you see. Carefully when you sleep, I might be in your closet, you can call me the boogeyman. Now there's blood everywhere, even on my hands will cut you up, I hope you understand. Your family won't do shit, they gon' sit there quiet, bitch. Cause I stitched up the lips and when the cops come, the heads will be split, your body be ripped and I'm gone quick. But my killing spree will never quit. This is just the beginning of the killing season. I'm doing it because I can, I don't need no other reason. So be careful if I'm in your region or you might be bleeding.